one thing we all have in common is we're going to get old. We're going to age. It's a common denominator. And if we're lucky, we get old, because the alternative is not so good. What I want to talk about today, if you're a certain age, and it's starting kind of in the mid-late 30s, you have to be prepared. There's a lot of ageism in the job search and at work. And I know the ones who are 30s, you're like, what? I'm young. Yeah, but here's my take on ageism. When people say ageism, they feel, okay, you're 70 years old and you're going into the office and you smell of mothballs and you're sucking on Werther's candies and you have the peppermint candies on your desk, you have your slippers on, you have a bathrobe, you have that little hat, that nightcap hat, and you're just shuffling along. Yeah, you have the stereotype that you're using language that is from a different generation, you can't relate, you don't know how to use technology and all that. I don't think, and you could say I'm naive, but I don't think it's that people are saying, oh, you're 50, you're old, ugh, we don't want to hire you. You're 60, we don't want to hire you, you're ancient. What I think is happening is this. It's more about the money. Generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, the more years experience you have, the more money you're earning. If you're starting out your career, you're going to be on the lower end of the salary totem pole. As you get more experience, you kind of go up. Now, do you have some young people who are brilliant and make a lot? Absolutely. But we're talking generalities. So most people who have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years of experience, they've been doing it a long time. And presumably, if they're halfway good at what they do, or they're very good at what they do, they're going to be commanding a nice salary, particularly in very expensive cities. New York, San Francisco, LA, Boston, Chicago, and they're making a lot of money. Now what happens, think about it, if you have people, let's say you have somebody in New York who's earning $250,000 at a company, it could be a media company, it could be Wall Street, it could be a fashion, it's a home for so many different places, sectors. And you're management and you try to cut costs, are you going to say, let's keep this person who's making $250,000 plus benefits, and we're actually probably paying more for their health insurance and all? Or do we say, maybe we relocate the job to a lower cost city, a lower cost state, to another country, and we could pay less. If we could take the job for this person who's making $250,000, put it in Florida and pay somebody $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, we saved a lot of money. And then multiply, not that just one person, now we're doing it for a whole bunch of people. And then if you go to another country, you're going to pay a fraction of what you're paying here. So I think there's this cost-benefit analysis that's going on in all the major executive C-suites. They're thinking, hey, how do we save money? How do we cut costs? And for a lot of industries, let's take Wall Street, banking, financial services. They don't have factories, they don't have machineries, they're not selling stuff. It's all people. It's people-oriented business. So that's where the most money is spent. So if you want to save money, you got to get rid of people or cut their salaries. So it becomes very easy to say, hey, we got to cut costs. We can't shut down a plant, a manufacturing plant. We can't shut down a factory. We can't change the price on our goods that we're selling because you're selling stocks or bonds. So it's a different kind of thing. So the only thing you can really do is clamp down on expenses. And the people who they can clamp down on for the most part are the ones who are senior level. Because if you clamp down on somebody who's 2 years in or 3 years in, you're not saving much. So they just do the opposite. They let go of the senior people to save money. Now the challenge is this. If you're in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, it's rough because you run the risk of being laid off because of what I just mentioned. But because the companies have been moving jobs to other cities, other low-cost cities throughout the country, other countries, there are not as many jobs anymore. So now, if you're the one who is told, sorry, we have to let you go, there are going to be less jobs available, and the ones that are available are going to be in different states or different places. And they're not going to want to pay your compensation level. So you have a challenge. This is real. And this should concern everybody, because this is the one thing. Yes, there's all sorts of discrimination in all shapes, sizes, colors, shapes, religions, creed, everything, sexual orientation, all sorts of prejudices, discrimination. But I'm focusing on this for now, and in particular for now, because we are all going to be there. This is one thing we all have in common. We're all going to get older. And hopefully, we're all, as we get older and work more, we're going to get paid more. So we're all going to be in this space. What you have to do is, first of all, understand this is happening. You got to recognize this is happening. It's not a theory. It's not conjecture. I've spoken to enough people over the years that I've seen this trend. Even before COVID, I saw this trend coming fast and furious. And I don't even want to, I'm reluctant to even throw in with technology, automation, robotics. That's going to further make it more challenging. But that's for another segment. What you have to do, if you're at this level, you have to, number one, hold on to your job with dear life. Don't take it for granted. Just because you've been doing something for 30 years, don't think, I'm untouchable. I have the historic knowledge of this company. I know all the people. I'm well connected. Treat it like your job is in jeopardy every day. And I'm not saying that to freak you out. I'm saying it so that you don't coast. You want to show that you're indispensable. So if they're thinking of cutting costs, they're going to say, no, Jack is, we can't let him go. He's just a workhorse. He does everything. He's everywhere. He's even underpaid considering everything he's contributed to the organization. That's what you want to do. You want to make yourself indispensable. You want to make sure everybody knows what you're doing. You want to, and I don't mean your brown nose know what you're doing, but you want to let people know, especially people in high positions, what you're show them your results, what you've been doing, how you're successful, how you're so important to the organization, so they kind of pass over on you and look for someone else when they're going to let go. I know this sounds cold, but let's be frank. This is what it is. You also have to say, you want to know that people are going to have these prejudices. It sucks. It's unfair, but they're going to have it. So you can't ignore it. One of the prejudices, hey, older workers don't know technology. Make it your business to know technology. If you're going to go on a Zoom call, you don't want to be that grandfather who's like, how do I work this? I don't understand. Where do I do it? What's this? And you're all like, confused, and everyone's kind of looking at you like, all right, Grandpa, I'll take care of it for you. That's my kind of Grandpa Simpson. So you don't want to be that guy who everyone's going to roll their eyes like, you forget to put on mute and you're talking to somebody while the Zoom call is going on, and everybody's like, Jack, put on mute. Where's the mute button? I can't see it. And then they go, well, I can't see it. Where is it? You don't want to be that person. And I don't mean to make light of it, but sometimes when it's a really serious matter, you do have to have inject a little levity, because otherwise we're just going to be miserable. Things are tough enough. So when we talk about these tough subjects, I don't mean to downplay it, but it could be really tough and sad and frustrating and depressing, and I'd rather not depress people. So I try to balance the two. All right, let me get back. You want to make sure you know technology. You want to be up to date with all the softwares that are out there, all the changes. Oftentimes, people just coast. Think about with music, completely different thing. How many people do you know liked a certain genre of music in high school and college, and that's it? They never changed. They never bothered to check out any type of other music outside of what they've listened to when they were younger. Think about people who, in your neighborhood, who hit a certain age and they're still wearing the dad jeans, those dad Nike sneakers, which admittedly I have a pair. The eyeglasses from the 80s-ish, and they're not doing it, wearing it ironically. The ties that are really out of date, if they still wear ties. You want to look fresh and current. Can you say that's shallow? Yeah. But can you also say that's smart? Yeah. Because people are going to judge you whether you like it or not. And this transcends age. This is wherever you are. You want to make sure you look current. You want to check the language you use. If you're like, hey, Daddy-o, what's happening? You don't want to speak in a lingo that the other generations you work with have no idea what you're talking about. Think about it. You have in the workforce now Gen Zs, Gen Xs, Boomers, Millennials, the greatest, I don't know, what do you call the World War II ones? The greatest whatever guys. We have all these generations together. And everyone has their own culture, their own buzzwords that they use. Now, I'm fortunate. I have young children, so I kind of tapped into the zeitgeist of how they talk, how they act, their whole mood, their whole attitude. I have a lot of younger people in my office, so I get it. So I try to stay up to date what's happening, but I don't try to embarrass myself and make it like, you ever see that Steve Buscemi meme where he's wearing a hoodie and a skateboard? He goes, hello, fellow students. And he says he's walking around and it's cringy. So you don't want to do that, but you want to at least show respect that you understand what's going on with the other generations so you can relate to them, so they don't think you're a dinosaur, you're a fossil, you just don't belong, you're out of touch. And come on, and be honest, people who are a certain age are getting mad at me now, right? But come on, be really honest. Don't you think and have the same stereotypes about millennials and Gen Zs? Probably not so much Gen Zs because you're not so much aware of them yet at the office, but millennials, come on. I've heard you guys talk about it, so don't beat up on me when I'm saying this stuff, all right? Because I'm going to say the same thing to the millennials in another segment. So, all right, I'm not picking on you guys. What you want to do is you just want to stay up on pop culture. You want to listen to their music. Doesn't mean you have to like it, but this way, because in the office, a lot of it's social interaction. It's social interaction. It's fitting in. It's making friends, building alliances, building a network. And if you come across as somebody who couldn't care less about what millennials think or say, that's not good. You're going to alienate yourself from them. Now, you don't have to pretend you like everything they do, but at least you can speak the same language. You can understand kind of all the shorthand language they use, the terminology. If you use things that they don't understand, you can explain to them what it means when you use your certain expressions. I gotta tell you, I hear from my son and daughter all these expressions, and some of the millennials in my office like, what? What does that mean? I don't understand. Throwing shade, what's that? That person's swole, that's a flex, what? And then I know, I'm like, okay, all right. Doesn't mean I'm gonna use it all the time. Well, I do use it to annoy my kids, but at work, I'm not going to use it all the time, but at least I know, and it shows that I'm open to learning. So what you want to do is you want to be up on the technology, the software, you want to be up on pop culture, on the lingo that people are using, what's important to folks, who aren't in your age demographic, because this way, then you're not viewed as being, that person who just doesn't really fit in. Now, will that save your job? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But you have to have a game plan. You have to try something. You can't just say, well, I'm going to be me and that's it. You be you, I'll be me, and it's good. No, you have to acknowledge in a cost-cutting environment where there are hiring freezes, there's not a lot of hiring, lots of layoffs, lots of downsizings, and if you're the one making a lot of money, yeah, you got to be careful. You got to make sure you're safe. You got to do whatever it is to protect your job. Because if you lose it, trust me on this, it is going to be hard to find a new one. So technology, software, use them, play with them. You not only do you want to know, you want to show you know them better than anyone. Watch the shows that the younger people, listen to the music they do. You don't have to love it, but at least you have appreciation for it. As I get older, I'm not into watching sports anymore. I can't get past the fact that I'm going to root for a basketball player who's making $100 million a year against another basketball player who's making $100 million a year. It's like rooting for AT&T against whatever other phone company is out there, Verizon. So it doesn't, I feel silly rooting for people who are like ridiculously wealthy. It's like rooting for one Jeff Bezos against, Bill Gates. Why am I going to root for? I'm not going to root for either of you guys. You got it made. So what I want you to do is this. Take a look, a self-assessment of how you come across, how you dress, how you look, how you talk. I don't follow sports, but I watch it to so know what's going on. So I'll watch the highlights. So if people in the office talk about how the Giants are doing, the Jets are doing, what happened with the World Series, I'm not like, I kind of know. Do I know it deeply? No, but I have a superficial enough to have a conversation. So that's what you say. That's superficial enough to have a conversation. Because then you're part of it, you're not excluded, and it shows you care, you're interested. You also want to start having a plan B. You want to prepare just in case, because we're living longer now. It used to be, I remember when I was a kid and someone was 100, on the news would be this big thing, oh my God, someone's 100, it was so exciting. And they show this person who's like 3 feet tall because they're all shrunk and they're all wrinkled like a prune. I probably shouldn't say these things when I'm talking about ageism, right? But I'm joking, okay? I'm just trying to have fun, lighten up. So they put this, they wheel this person out, and everyone's, and they try to blow out the candles. They can't blow out the candles. And some person put a trick candle, so they're blowing it, and then they're going to probably get a heart attack. All right, that probably was inappropriate, sorry. Now, how many people have you seen who go to 85, 90, 100, past 100? It's not that outlandish. So if you're in your 40s, or let's say you're even mid-50, let's figure this out. If you're mid-50, you have, let's say 55, you have to 65, 75, 85, 95. You have 40 years left. That's a lot of time. You don't want to be, if you didn't save up a lot of money and you have 40 years left, you got to start doing something. So I would suggest put together a plan B. That plan B is like, hey, if I lose my job and I can't get another one of a comparable salary and compensation, what do? Don't wait till it happens, start doing it now. Maybe it pays as much, maybe it doesn't pay as much, maybe it pays much less, but try working on it. Try working on it so you have other revenue streams that come in so you're not wholly dependent on it. It could be maybe go to school at night to learn something new, get different accreditations, different credentials, different licenses, maybe get a part-time job. And I know you can say, oh, I don't have the time for it, but you have to be forward thinking. You have to prepare for the worst. If I would have said to you a year ago, we're going to have this pandemic, shut down the whole economy, over 60 million people are going to lose their jobs, and then millions more are going to be underemployed, millions more are going to have mental health issues, you would think I'm out of my mind. One thing I think we have to learn from the pandemic is we're going to have we could always have this black swan event that could just knock us on our butt, and we're not going to know what hit us. So it's important not to just act as if everything's going to be okay. You got to prepare for the worst. So the plan B is pivoting to a new type of career, a new type of job, a new type of life, reinventing yourself. So you want to make sure you don't get flat-footed if they say goodbye and you don't have any plan, and then you realize, hey, it's really hard for me to get another job. If you are looking for another job, and if you're a certain age, when you interview, you have to acknowledge there are going to be these preconceived notions about you, and you're going to have to overcome them. People aren't going to ask directly because it's against the law, and it's rude and inappropriate. But they're thinking it. So what you want to do, you want to come across as somebody who's really energetic, who's motivated. So in your body language, in the way you talk, it dispels the myth of a preconceived notion about who you are. So for the moment you meet with them, either in person or in a video, you come across against the stereotype of what they're going to expect. Vibrant, energetic, motivated, passionate. A lot of times people think if you have been working for 40 years, you're going to be the person who thinks they know everything. You want to say, I'm really interested in this role. I'm excited about it. I understand it might be a little lower than the titles I had in the past, maybe less money, but I'm really excited about the job. I want to learn. I want to contribute. And I think because I've been working for 40 years, I'm not the type of person who's then going to say, oh, do it this way. We've always done it this way. I'm going to be open to new ideas, receptive. I'm excited, and that's what's exciting. It seems like you have a very young culture here. That's going to be so much fun for me. I can learn so much. Plus also, because I have been doing this for so long, I can help nurture. If you like, if it's helpful, I can nurture and mentor some of the people who are younger than myself and share my experiences. Not tell them what to do, not say this is how you should be doing, but kind of take them under my wing and help them and give some advice, if you like, if you find that helpful. Because I know as a manager, and you're managing a team of 50 people, you have a lot to do. So if I could help in that fashion as well, I would. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm trying to overcome the things that they're thinking of. That you're not going to be bossy and telling everybody what to do. You're not going to put your feet up on the desk and say, because I've been doing so long, I don't have to do the work. You're saying, and then you're coming across passionate, you're coming motivated, you're coming across excited. And you're also saying, hey, here's an added benefit. I could help out. I could help mentor people. And I'm not going to pretend I know it all. And I want to learn. And this is exciting. Now, will they still maybe say thanks but no thanks because you're earning too much? Well, I understand that I did earn considerably more than you're offering. But for me, at this point in my life and career, it's not about the money. It's about the job, the opportunity, the challenge, meeting all new, exciting people. And the people I've met here, it's just blowing my mind. They're great. They're brilliant. They're so motivated. I've been fortunate that I've been very frugal and saved my money. So I'm at a point in my life where I can look for a job that offers meaning and passion and a purpose. So I'm in that fortunate spot where it's okay. I'll work with you within what you can do in terms of compensation and title. It's more important to me to find the right home. I'm sure there are other companies out there, this might not be accurate, but you gotta say, there's other companies out there that I can go to that I could get the same money or more. But that's not really where I am in my life. I want this. So you let them know that you're open to it. So now it's hard for them to move forward with their preconceived notions because you're dispelling them all. You're coming across energetic, motivated, you're speaking the same language, you're saying that you're not going to boss people around or say, oh, I've been doing this for 40 years, this is what you need to do. You're not going to do that. You're going to mentor people. So now the interviewer is going to be relieved because he or she is thinking these things and now you just got it off the table. So now it's not even an issue. So now you could have a one-on-one about the actual job, the actual requirements, what you bring to the table, how you could help out, how you can make it work. And it helps overcome it. So what I would suggest is this, not to stoke fear, but when you get a certain age and a certain compensation, you're a target. And if you're a target, understand that and take action. Make sure you know all the new technologies, all the new software, all the new developments. Understand your coworkers and how they talk, act, think, what they watch, what they listen to, so you're part of it. Have a plan B, so if things go sideways, you're not caught off guard and you're ready to have something else to move into. When you interview, acknowledge that they're going to be thinking these thoughts, but are kind of a little afraid to ask. Bring them up first. Not only bring it up, but sell them on everything you could do, that you're energetic, you're motivated, you're passionate. You're not going to be a bossy person. You're not going to say, hey, do it my way. Just the opposite. You want to learn, you want to grow, you want to be a team player, you want to be part of it, and you're open to compensation because fortunately you saved money so you don't have to. So this way, you could just look at you on the merits. I know this is a tough subject, and I was trying to be a little, as I mentioned before, inject a little levity into it because we're all going to be there and we're all going to face it. And this is something we're all going to wrestle with. And it's tough and it's scary. So I'm trying to make it a little lighter so not make you feel miserable. But I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.